Welcome back, everyone. It's Austin Revel with 2F by C Tactical, located right here in New Prague, Minnesota. We're just going to take a brief video today to kind of update you on some stuff that happened over the weekend. But today is December 22nd, and again, I want to wish you and your family a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I look forward to continuing to bring you new content every week, and as we get into the new year, there's a lot of things happening. We will be at SHOT Show, so we'll be giving you some updates from SHOT Show. I'm kind of excited about that. And also, I'd like to start the drive for 25,000 today. You know, I'm a big college football fan, and Josh Pate over at the Pate State is a great channel. You should absolutely check him out if you like college football like I do. But, you know, we want to do the drive for 25 is what we're going to call it, get to 25,000 followers. So if you please like, comment, and subscribe, we'll continue to bring you more content as we go along. Now, today we want to talk about something the Trump administration actually did well, which is they are suing the U.S. Virgin Islands over violations to the Second Amendment. And this is kind of big because the 14th Amendment does exist, mandating that states respect the federal Constitution and specifically the Bill of Rights that was passed after the Civil War to mandate the 13th Amendment down onto the states. So, you know, say Alabama, state I'm from, couldn't ignore the 13th Amendment, for instance. You can't pick and choose amendments. If you're going to be a part of this union, therefore you have to be a part of the union and all of the Bill of Rights and everything this union is a part of. Now, what this has not been held as is on the territories of the United States. And we currently have 5 territories. The Mariana Islands, American Samoa, the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and Guam. There's obviously some uninhabited ones in there, but those are the inhabited territories that the United States currently has. The U.S. Virgin Islands was purchased from Denmark in 1917 during World War I, and it has been a popular tourist destination, you know, before that, but ever since. A lot of cruises and stuff go down there. It is a beautiful island. They do unfortunately have a serious crime problem, and they have a policing problem, it does sound like, because that is part of the arguments the federal government is putting on the Virgin Islands. Mainly, though, the crux of this lawsuit is the lack of constitutional rights as it pertains to the Second Amendment that the citizens of the U.S. Virgin Islands, which are U.S. nationals, by the way, are being restricted from. So, for instance, you have to get fingerprinted. You have to have they have a standard, a may issue standard, a pre-Bruen standard, where you have to demonstrate a need outside of self-defense in order to get a firearm. You have to get fingerprinted. There's character references you have to have. Your gun is actually, the serial number and everything is on your card, so it's licensed to a gun. So if you're going to carry, for instance, it has to be the specific gun that you applied for, and you can only have one gun. You know, when it comes to concealed carry, for instance, when it comes to U.S. citizens, which again they are U.S. nationals, but when it comes like U.S. citizens traveling to the U.S. Virgin Islands, you have to make declarations of what you're bringing, and there's a whole slew of restrictions that go on with that. So this lawsuit kind of has an opportunity to do a couple things. First off, if successful, and I imagine this might make it all the way up to the Supreme Court, it would force all U.S. territories to follow the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, which honestly, the Bill of Rights are given to us by God and not by man. Therefore, no government can restrict. If you're going to be a part of the United States and rely on us, and the territories, while yes, they do not have voting power, they do rely on us for self-defense and commerce and a whole slew of other things, then you have to sign on to the Bill of Rights. That's clear to me. So therefore, you don't get to violate people's civil rights just because you're a territory. We're seeing Hawaii right now make arguments about how their territorial 1860s kingdom that predate them being a state in the United States usurped the federal Constitution. That is not how that works. You know, we were a part of England long before we were the United States. That doesn't mean that UK law usurps the U.S. Constitution. It's a ridiculous argument. And just to be clear, the U.S. Virgin Islands has not responded to this lawsuit yet. I'm sure they will, and we'll bring that to you, and I'm curious what their arguments will be. But the whole point of this is to kind of give them up to the Bruen standard, it does appear, and then also crack down on policing and stuff that they're doing down there. Now, this is what's kind of frustrating for me, at least when it comes to this administration, is there's a saying that you can walk and chew gum at the same time. So what we're seeing is Harmeet Dillon, a U.S. Attorney General, or Assistant Attorney General, I should say, is in charge of that new Second Amendment Civil Rights Division that the Trump administration made in the DOJ. This is a lawsuit stemming out of their new division. While this is good, this is kind of the frustrating part of this administration, is they're aggressively attacking state laws. Like, we even saw her go down and make arguments on our behalf in assault weapon ban cases in Illinois, saying that they're unconstitutional. And that is fantastic and great. They need to continue to do this. But at the same time, the DOJ is also defending federal gun law. Why can't both be attacked at the same time? And I think if 2FC Tactical could ever get a moment with the President of the United States, this is what I would beg him. It's like, please attack both, because both of these things are wrong. Just because you believe that the federal trumps the states when it comes to the Second Amendment, a tenet that I agree with. The Second Amendment is spoken to the federal government, therefore it is not states' purview. There should be no state gun laws. If there were to be gun laws, and I don't think there should be any, just so you know, so that's my stance here, then they must be federal. I understand that tenet. That doesn't mean, though, you can't attack unconstitutional laws at the federal level at the exact same time. The DOJ is a huge organization with many, many, many lawyers and paralegals and everything there. There's no reason why they can't handle all these cases at once. So, yes, I guess that's where I stand and we stand here at 2FC. I applaud them for this lawsuit, and hopefully this will go through and force all U.S. territories to honor the Second Amendment. We did see Puerto Rico actually pass law recently, I think it was last year, trying to bring their local customs and laws up to federal standards. They said that they would follow all federal gun control laws, which, again, I applaud. There should be no gun control laws, but at least that is lessening the burden on their citizens, and, of course, U.S. citizens that are traveling to Puerto Rico. And the U.S. Virgin Islands, looks like you're next on the docket. So either you go ahead and bring yourself into compliance, or I guess I don't really know how judges will rule on this, because the 14th Amendment has never really been held to our territories. So that will be kind of the interesting thing. I think it should be. And more than likely, I would assume the Supreme Court would mandate that too. But anyway, that's kind of a quick update. Again, Merry Christmas to you and your family. We look forward to you on the next video.